Hey guys, welcome to a new video. This is Matt from Happy Hour with Matt. And today what we are drinking for this video is Villa Negra. It is a wine from Spain that I bought from Walmart here in China. So let's pour a glass and taste it before we begin. It's good, tastes like red wine. So in this video today, I'm going to talk about 10 reasons why I love living here in China. I have been living here in China for about 6 months, and I feel like I have a good amount of time here to know why I love living here. So before we begin the video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Happy Hour with Matt. You can check out awesome travel videos from all over the world where I do crazy things, drink alcohol, eat food, and really just see the world. So do that, and we will begin. Okay, so the 10 reasons why I love living in China are in no particular order. They are just 10 reasons, so 1 through 10 really makes no difference, and we will begin right now. So remember guys, this is from a foreigner's point of view, not a Chinese person's point of view about living in China. So obviously I have different experiences living here in China than maybe a Chinese person, so just take that into consideration. So one of the main reasons I love living here in China is the food. The food is delicious. I love Asian food. I've always loved Asian food. But I think Chinese food in China is the best I've had in the entire world. When I was in Thailand, I said this is the best food I had in the entire world. When I was in Japan, I said this is the best food I had in the entire world. But now living in China, I feel like this is the best food I've ever had in the world. Whenever I'm not in Asia, I miss Asian food, and now living in Asia, it is fantastic. The good thing about living in Shenzhen, China, is that it is a mix of different people from all over the world. So you get a lot of different restaurants and food from all over China. So it's not really a specific type of Chinese food. China's a huge country, so all over China has different food, but Shenzhen has a mix of everything. So I've had some of the best spicy food I've ever had, some of the best dumplings, some of the best soup, some of the best rice, whatever. It is all delicious, and I really would recommend eating Chinese food in China. Don't get me wrong, Chinese food in the West and America isn't bad. It's pretty good. I like eating that too, but Chinese food in China is better. The second reason why I love living in China is because of the transportation. The transportation I'm talking about is in Shenzhen, and I would imagine other big cities in China. It is fantastic. You can really get around pretty easily anyway. You can walk to most places, you can take a metro to many places, you can take a bus, you can take a taxi, you can take the Uber service that they have here in China, which is Didi. There's really so many ways to get around. They have high-speed trains throughout the country, which America really needs to incorporate. It's really easy to get around. When I've lived in mostly just America, it's very hard to get around without a car. That's really the only way to get around. But in China, you really can just take whatever public transportation you want and walk to most places, which is great. I live in a city with millions and millions of people, and it's so easy to get around, and I really like that. I feel like I have so much freedom traveling around the city, traveling around the country, and I really love that. I don't have to worry about driving anywhere. The third reason I love living in China is because of the weather. And China's a huge country. There is different weather all over China. But I live in Shenzhen, I live in southern China, and the weather here is great. Before I came here, I heard that it does get a little cold in the winters, and for maybe a few weeks, it was a little chilly, like I had to wear a jacket. But besides that, it has been really nice. When I first got here, it was super humid, super hot. I was soaking wet with sweat every day. But about a month later, the weather cooled off and it was really lovely. It was sunny out every day, just wearing shorts, wearing pants, wearing t-shirts. I didn't really have to wear a jacket outside. I think in December or January, it did get a little chilly. Not as bad as many other places, like not as bad as New York, for example. So it is great weather here in Shenzhen, China. Right now it is April and the weather is great. It's like 80s and sunny every day. I love it. I love that kind of weather, and I think that is a huge reason I love living here in southern China. The fourth reason I love living in China is the cost of living. Don't get me wrong, China is not the cheapest place. You can definitely live cheaper in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, places like that. But it's not so bad living here in China. As a foreigner, as an ESL teacher, I make a pretty good salary for living here. I pay a good amount for rent. I pay in US dollars, I pay about $500 for rent, which isn't cheap because I don't live in the best neighborhood and I have a small studio apartment. So that's a little expensive. But beyond that, it's not so bad. Going out to eat is very cheap. You can get a lot of food for very cheap if you know what to order and what to get. Grocery shopping is super cheap. Someone told me before I got here that it's cheaper to eat out. I think that's bullshit. I think if you shop at the grocery store and cook your own food, it's cheaper that way. So I do cook a lot of my meals, but I also do eat out a lot of the time and order food a lot of the time as well. I think that going out could be a little expensive depending on what you like to do. There are expensive areas in Shenzhen, in bigger cities in China, where you can spend a lot of money. There are a lot of rich Chinese people who do like to spend money, but you can do China cheaply. It really just depends. And I guess you could really do anything cheaply, but I feel like I'm able to eat and drink and do pretty much whatever I want and still save money each month. It's not the cheapest place in the world, for sure. You can definitely live in cheaper places, but with my salary and my way of living, and I do like to spend a lot of money on stupid shit, I think you can still have a good time and save money. So the cost of living is pretty good here in China. The number 5 reason I love living in China is it's very easy to find jobs. As a foreigner, maybe as a white foreigner, maybe as a native English speaker. So not for everyone. This is my experience. I can't speak for everybody, but this is why I love living in China, not that guy over there. So for me, it's been really easy. I got a job, no problem, an ESL job. I got that job teaching English at a public school before I even came to China. But I've been doing other jobs as well. I also work at a training center, which is also near my apartment, and they pay me 300 RMB an hour, which is about $45 an hour. Really good money living here in China. So I do that part-time, which is really nice. It was really easy to find that job. I also have done some acting jobs where I don't pay as much, but I've acted in like these videos where I kind of do silly things to help people learn English. So it's pretty easy to find random jobs. I wasn't even looking for these jobs. The acting job, someone asked me to do it. They just saw my WeChat or a photo of me and was like, oh, do you want to act? And the training center, my friend said, they're looking for teachers, would you like to do it? I didn't even look for those jobs. I'm sure if I looked for jobs, it would be even easier. So I think it really is easy finding jobs. And I kind of sound like an asshole sometimes when I say it, but like I do work hard at my job. I think I'm a good teacher, but I know in the back of my mind that I'm kind of invincible. It sounds so shitty to say that, but I know that if I got fired or my job started to complain about me for any reason, there's no really reason why they should, I can get another job. It's not a problem. So it is easy to get a job here in China as a native English speaker if you want to teach English. Other things, I have no idea. The number 6 reason I love living here in China is that it's such a big, diverse, beautiful country. I live in southern China, so I live in Shenzhen. I've been to a few other places in China. I've been to Guangzhou. I've been to Zhejiang, probably pronouncing it wrong, even further south. I plan on visiting other places here in China, but there's just so many places to visit and see and things and different landscapes, different cities. There's just so many things to see here in China, and it's huge. Like I think to myself, oh, I could next year I'll go live in another country, but I feel like I haven't even seen China. Like during as an ESL teacher in a public school, you get a 1-month holiday for winter. And I left China. I went to the Philippines for a month, and I was like, shit, I should have traveled through China. Like, there's just so much to see. And working at a school, I mean, you do get time off, but it's not really too much time to see all of China. So I feel like there's just so much more to explore, and I love that. Like, I've lived in smaller countries, like Japan, for example. I lived there for 3 months, and I saw a lot of major things in Japan. I lived in Vietnam for 7 months, and I saw almost the entire country, like all the major cities, all the beautiful nature, mainly everything in Vietnam that you want to see. Taiwan, small little country that belongs to China, traveled around that in a week. So China's just so big. There's just so much to see, so much to do. It's kind of like America, where there's so much, so much to see. In America, same thing. I've barely seen any of it, and it's my own country. So in China, I feel like I have a lot more to see, and that's why I love living here, because there's just so much to do and see. The number 7 reason why I love living in China is the convenience. I think China is the most convenient place I've ever lived in my life, I've ever been to in my life. And I haven't been everywhere, but I still think it would be number 1. The reason for it is that everything is just easy. So, for example, China uses WeChat, which is this app that kind of is their social network, their messaging app. Also, you pay for things with WeChat. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing using WeChat. Like, I don't carry my wallet anywhere here in China. I just carry my phone, which is great because I've left China. I've gone to Hong Kong. I've gone to the Philippines. I've gone other places where I had to carry my wallet again, and it sucks. Using real money and things like that sucks. Everything can be paid for with your phone in China, and I absolutely love that. I know it is a way for the government to track what people are doing, but I really don't care. I'm not doing anything bad, so it really doesn't bother me. I like paying for things with my phone. Also, ordering things in China, super easy. They have Taobao, which is their Amazon. You can pretty much get anything you want. You can order anything, which is awesome. Like, anything you need can be sent to you in 2 to 3 days. Food, alcohol, water, electronics, everything. They do have fake products on Taobao. I don't think I've gotten anything fake yet. I have bought shitty things. I bought an iPhone wire like 3 different times and they all broke within a week. I've also bought like 2 portable chargers from Taobao and they've also broke pretty quickly. So yeah, you can get fake things, and if you don't know Chinese, it can be a little more difficult to navigate that website. But if you know someone who's Chinese or you speak Chinese, it's great. And I do use Taobao mostly on my own, and I don't really have too many problems with it. Ordering food is super easy. You can get food delivered to you super cheaply, 30 to 40 minutes. Any type of food you want, really. Western food, Chinese food, anything. I use that all the time. I love it. You can order taxis anywhere you are. I really like that. They don't have Uber, but they have Didi, which is similar to Uber, and it's great, especially when you're drunk late at night and you really don't want to take public transportation. It's convenient. I just think it's just super convenient here in China. I really don't, like, there's things where I go to other places, other countries, and I'm like, shit, like, China's got that down. It is easy. It's just simple here in China. Just the convenience is great. So the number 8 reason why I love living here in China is because of the freedom. And I'm kind of gonna go on a little bit of a rant here on this freedom topic. When you think of freedom, like maybe you think, oh, America, freedom, USA, yeah. No. Here in China, I think you have much more freedom, especially as a foreigner, and I think Chinese people as well. For example, you want to go out in the street and you want to drink, you can do that. You want to get in a taxi, drink, you can do that. You want to piss in the street, you want to shit in the street, you can do that. No one is going to stop you. All 3 of those things I've gotten in trouble for in the USA and in other places. And in China, I feel more free. I don't feel like I don't have to worry about things. For example, there are police everywhere in China. It's for safety reasons. There's security people everywhere. There's police everywhere. But I don't feel like they're annoying. They don't bother you. You could still kind of drink. You could still do what you want in front of them. As long as you're not hurting people or doing really bad things, they're not going to bother you. In America, I feel like they bother you more. Like, I've been to places where the police will just ask me what I'm doing, even though I'm not doing anything. And that's annoying. I feel like that's not freedom. I feel nervous around police. I feel nervous around cops. And I don't like that. Here in China, I don't feel nervous around them. I mean, it could be because we don't speak each other's language, but they don't bother you. They don't even look at you. I mean, maybe they look at you to stare at you as a foreigner, but not in a bad way. So I kind of really like that about living in China. I think that you have a lot more freedom to do what you want without worrying about people bothering you. The number 9 reason I love living here in China is because of the long lunch breaks. Chinese people, they like to take naps in the middle of the day. So basically, they work in the morning, they have lunch, and then they take a nap, which is great because I don't take naps. I don't need to nap, but it's good because I don't always eat lunch, so I can have 2 to 3 hours to do whatever I want, which is nice. So like kind of work ends for 2 to 3 hours, and I pretty much usually just go to the gym. I come home, maybe do some errands, cook some food for later, or clean up, do some laundry. But it's nice because it's just a nice break in the middle of the day where I don't have to worry about work. Don't get me wrong, sometimes after all that I'm like, shit, I have to go back to work. I'm tired now. I don't want to. But it's good. I like it. I like the long lunch breaks. I know in America you get an hour or less for lunch, and that kind of sucks. I feel like that's not really enough time to do anything. I like the 2 to 3 hours. I know some jobs are longer than others. Mine is 2 to 3 hours, depending on different circumstances. But it's good. It gives me time to go to the gym in the middle of the day. And when I go, it's completely empty because everyone is eating or napping. So it's nice to do that, get that over with. And if you don't like to go to the gym, you can do whatever you want for those 2 to 3 hours. If you like to nap, you can do that because that's what everyone else is doing. So I really do like the long lunch breaks. I think they're super convenient. The number 10 reason why I love living here in China is because I actually like working here in China. I like teaching English here. I don't mind it. I taught English in classrooms in Thailand and in South Korea, and I then taught online for VIP Kid, a Chinese company, for a while, like almost over 2 years. So I think teaching in China has been the best so far. I teach about 17 classes a week, which is good compared to Korea, which I was teaching like 35. I think that it's just easier. Like I don't have to teach all day. I teach a few hours and that's it. I have a lot of time to myself to lesson plan, to just do whatever I want. It's very lax, so like when I'm in my office, I don't have to like pretend I'm doing work. I literally just put on baseball or football or just play games or watch videos or edit videos while in my office, which is great. No one bothers me about that. So I really like that. I feel like it's a much more lax environment teaching English here in China. I think the kids are better behaved. I mean, they're better behaved than Thailand, I guess. I don't know. They're okay. But I just feel like the teaching English environment in China is the best I've experienced. I haven't been to other places, but I feel like I have a good amount of experience. I feel like the money for the amount I teach is good. Like I make 15,000 RMB a month. That's without tax, so it comes to like 12. But I think that's good, which is about $2,000 a month. That's good for the amount I teach, because at VIP Kid, I was making maybe a little more than that, but I feel like I was working a lot more. Like I feel like I was teaching for 5 to 6 hours a day. And now I feel like I'm only teaching 2 to 3 hours a day, which is a lot better. I do part-time work, like I said, at the training center, but I feel like the teaching environment is the most laxed here in China compared to anywhere else I've been in the world. Yeah, so those are my 10 reasons for why I love living here in China. So I've been here for about 6 months. I don't know if I'm gonna stay another year. I mean, those 10 reasons really do make me want to stay another year, but I don't know. I'm still deciding on that right now. But I think living in China has been really good so far. I think it definitely has more positives than negatives. But there are a lot of negatives, so I will be sure to be making a 10 reasons why I hate living in China video. Maybe when you're watching this it'll be out and I can put it here. If not, stay tuned, that will come out, because I for sure have 10 reasons for why I hate living in China as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching 10 reasons why I love living in China. If you guys have ever lived in China or have lived in a foreign country, like why do you love living there rather than your own home country? I would love to hear from you. And this one was good. I had like 2 glasses. I'll probably drink more after this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!